This is an orchestra that's made up of some of the best students in the Treasure Coast region.
We actually play hard, difficult music, and it's challenging, but it's a lot of fun.
If you close your eyes, it could be any symphony that you have ever heard before, so the conductors do a magnificent job.
The Youth Symphony was originally started because we needed a place for advanced students to be able to play. And these are advanced students who are serious about what they're doing.
They're taught various things like how to function in a youth symphony, in an actual symphony orchestra with all the other musicians.
We practice at the Jensen Beach High School band room, which I would die to have had when I was a teacher. I have yet to see a high school facility of that magnitude. We practice every Monday from 6 to 9 p.m. sharp. We start promptly at 6, we end promptly at 9.
We'll get there usually a little earlier so that we can get things going and get everything set up and get all the chairs and the stands in place and get warmed up.
A typical day would be lots of practice, lots of stops, but the orchestra does fine.
We rehearse 60% of the semester, and the remaining 40% were in concert mode.
I think that the practice is worth it once the performance is done, as long as we've done a good job.
But as far as choosing music, we again try to choose something that would be intriguing to them. We really expect them to come up to a level.
It tends to be harder to play orchestra pieces in general. They're written harder. It's older music, it's different styles.
It's very, very important that you get a piece that draws out their best qualities. Something that's inspirational, something that's motivational, that will really make them really understand more about their instrument and the performance.
They played all of this extremely difficult music, and I remember the first day that they were all here, a couple of the new kids had tears running down their eyes, and they were just turning around looking at their moms like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And every one of them have stayed and learned just tremendous amounts.
Sometimes it may seem overly difficult with some of them, but they always come out better on top. Some say that, well, I just can't play this music, but then after they've played it, then you give them something easy and say, oh, this is way too easy.
I like that we get to play standard orchestra music and that the pieces are inspiring, challenging, but not so hard that I get discouraged.
A good performance takes very good musicians and it takes an audience. And the two together is what makes the live performance so different than a CD.
We enjoy performing at the Lyric. The children always look forward to that. We perform at Waxlax in Vero Beach at St. Edwards. We also perform at various locations where that want us, for example, churches.
We try to play in the towns that the students are from. So we have arranged from Vero Beach down through Jupiter. So we try to give the students an opportunity to play in their own backyards.
It does bring the level of performance up so that the young people are, man, this may be the first time this person has heard this music, so I want to do a good job, I want to practice it, I want to do my best.
Both my daughters like performance, and I just think being up on the stage with all the rest of those other musicians is really exciting for them.
All these students are involved with very high-level scholastic classes. These are overachiever types.
They come from all different backgrounds. There are some that have grown up in the public schools, and there's some from private schools, there's some who are homeschooled, and they all come together and they're teenagers.
We insist on their being professional.
They're willing to put all their self into something and to do their very best.
We welcome the younger ones because we know that we have an opportunity for them to develop.
She's 12 now and still relatively young for this orchestra. That doesn't mean that she doesn't fit in. She just really feels like a part of this group, and the students have been very inclusive with her and very accepting.
We'll take students that are not really up to par and we're pushing them along. And it's when you see that student is actually now willing to go to that next level and that next level and so forth, and they might overcome it.
My favorite thing is that we get to play as a group and I really enjoy the music. We all have a really good time and it's fun trying to figure out the notes and see if you can do it, and it's sort of like testing yourself on what your capabilities are.
She has learned so much playing with her peers. I think when they get in a group, it's a different type of playing. It's considerably different than when they play solos.
They get along and they have a great time. They get to socialize with others of their own, age level and ability level. It's really very neat to see.
You get to be yourself and you get to play a lot of different cool music.
The orchestra members learn to work as a team. Whether they're principal player or not, they tend to work very well together. And if they want that position as a principal player, they know they can strive for it and may sooner or later get it.
To see kids that are really listening to each other, enjoying what they do and play well, it's a joy.
This is for the kids. And when you learn that this is for the young people, it's a different story.
Well, I'm not a great time manager, but I somehow managed to get my homework done and practice and all that stuff.
If she were left to her own devices, she would play music all day.
Normally, she probably practices 2 hours a day.
She covers her academic material pretty well. She's actually advanced for her grade level academically, and she just squeezes everything into every minute of the day.
He does a very good job of managing his day-to-day routine, and he just has a lot of fun doing everything he does, and it turns out pretty well.